What if the reason your day feels chaotic isn't because you're disorganized, but because nobody ever gave you a working system? Japan has been running 15 of them quietly in the background for decades, and they don't require willpower or productivity apps. They work because they're designed to prevent the problem before it shows up, not respond to it after the damage is done. This video breaks down exactly how each one operates and why the logic behind them transfers directly to your own life. Number 1. Kaizen. Continuous small improvements. Toyota's factory floors run on a rule that most people would find uncomfortable. If something goes wrong, you stop the entire line right then, not at the end of the shift, not after the quota is hit. Most people do the opposite. You push through the small problem because stopping feels like falling behind, but every time you do that, the defect gets baked into the next step, and the next, until fixing it costs 10 times what it would have at the source. Kaizen is the practice of making tiny changes every single day without exception. Workers log micro inefficiencies, a tool stored 2 steps too far, a label that's hard to read, and each one gets a small fix that gets locked in permanently. Number 2. Omoyari, anticipating the needs of others. There's a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from having to explain what you need all the time. You shouldn't have to ask for water when you're visibly thirsty, or spell out that you're overwhelmed when everyone in the room can see it. Most service environments run on a reactive model. Someone has a need, they voice it, someone responds. The entire burden sits on the person who already has the problem, and every extra step in that chain adds friction. Number 3. Omotenashi, proactive hospitality and service. Omoyari handles the interpersonal layer, but omotenashi takes the same logic and builds it directly into the environment itself. At a Japanese ryokan, staff track what time guests typically come back from dinner, and by the time you walk through the door, the futon is already laid out, the bath is running at the right temperature, and there's a small snack waiting. Nobody asked. Staff just paid attention to the pattern and acted on it early. What separates this from regular good service is that there's no transactional layer underneath it. No tipping culture, no performance of generosity, no expectation of thanks. It's just the standard way the place operates. Number 4. Siri, removing unnecessary items. When a space feels chaotic, most people's first move is to add something. A new shelf, a new folder, a new app. The assumption is that more structure fixes the problem, but the actual problem is usually too many objects fighting for the same mental space. Siri is the first step in Japan's 5S workplace system, and it deals strictly with removal before anything else. Any item that hasn't been used within a set period gets a red tag and leaves the floor. Not a drawer, not a shelf, just gone. Number 5. Saiten, keeping everything in its proper place. Once Siri clears out what doesn't belong, you've still got a second problem. Where does everything that's left actually live? Saiton gives every item exactly one designated location, chosen based on how often you use it and how close it needs to be to where you use it. Frequently used tools stay within arm's reach. Rarely used ones sit further away. Nothing gets stored based on wherever felt convenient in the moment. In Japanese factories, each tool's storage spot gets outlined directly on the surface where it lives. So if the tool's missing, the empty outline tells you immediately without any searching. Number 6. Seiketsu, maintaining consistent standards. Most people clean up when things get bad enough to force it. The desk gets cleared when you can't find anything. The inbox gets sorted when the number feels embarrassing. And by then, you're not maintaining a system. You're recovering from a breakdown. Seiketsu fixes this by making the standard visible. In Japanese factories, photos get posted directly at workstations showing exactly what the space should look like at the start and end of every shift. No guessing, no interpretation, just a reference you can check against in seconds. Number 7. Shitsuke, building disciplined habits. Every system eventually hits the same wall. People stop following it, not because they're careless, but because maintaining it requires a decision every single time, and decisions cost energy that's already being spent on other things. Shitsuke solves this by turning the standard into the default. Japanese workplaces run brief daily checks, not to catch people doing something wrong, but to keep the correct behavior practiced and visible until it stops requiring any conscious effort at all. Number 8, motai nai, avoiding waste. When you waste something in most Western contexts, the response is guilt. You wasted food, you wasted money, you wasted time, and the framing puts it on you personally, which doesn't actually stop it from happening again. Motai nai treats waste as a signal that something in the process broke down. Food gets thrown out because the portions were too large, or storage wasn't right, or the purchase didn't match actual use. Each of those is a fixable process problem, not a character flaw. Number 9, ma, creating space and reducing clutter. Most productivity advice defaults to adding more. More scheduled blocks, more tools, more structure layered on top of structure. But there's a specific failure mode that only shows up when a schedule has zero room left in it. Ma is the Japanese concept of deliberate empty space. One meeting runs over, the next starts late, and by mid-afternoon, the whole day's running on fumes because there's nowhere for the delay to go. The gap between tasks isn't wasted capacity. It's where unexpected things land without wrecking everything else. Number 10, wa, maintaining harmony and cooperation. In most team environments, conflict gets managed after it surfaces. Someone raises an objection in a meeting, things get tense, and the group works through it. A lot of the friction in that model comes from letting the disagreement develop unchecked before anyone addresses it. Wa is the Japanese concept of group harmony, and it's not passive. It's an active operating principle built around a practice called nemawashi, where you consult each stakeholder individually before any formal decision reaches a group meeting. By the time everyone's in the room, the objections have already been heard and worked through in smaller, lower-stakes conversations. Number 11, shogunai, accepting what cannot be controlled. There's a specific drain that comes from pushing back against something that's already been decided. The flight's delayed, the deadline moved, the call got made without you, and the instinct is to keep processing it, as if staying frustrated long enough might change the outcome. Shogunai roughly translates to, it can't be helped, and it works as a cognitive release valve. Not resignation, just a trained ability to recognize when you're spending resources on something that won't move and stop. In Japanese culture, the norm after something goes wrong is rapid acceptance followed by immediate action, because prolonged resistance to a fixed outcome just drains capacity you need elsewhere. Number 12, zanshin, remaining attentive and aware. Most errors don't happen in the middle of a task. They happen the moment you decide it's finished, right before it actually is. The archer who relaxes before the arrow lands. The driver who grabs their phone the second the car stops moving. Zanshin is a Japanese martial arts concept that translates roughly to remaining mind, and it describes the sustained attention you hold after the main action is done, continuing until the situation is fully stable and you've deliberately disengaged. In archery, that means staying present until the arrow hits. In tea ceremony, it means carefully cleaning and storing every tool after the tea gets served. Number 13, ichigo ichi, valuing each moment and interaction. The daily check-in that follows the same script, the meeting with the same agenda, the conversation with the coworker you've talked to 100 times. Familiarity makes these feel low stakes, so the attention you bring to them is low stakes too. Ichigo ichi comes from the Japanese tea ceremony tradition and translates to one time, one meeting. Every gathering gets treated as if it's the only one that'll ever happen, because the exact combination of people, timing, and context won't line up the same way again. Number 14, genshi genbutsu, go and see the reality firsthand. Most decisions about broken systems get made from a distance. Someone reads a report, checks a dashboard, sits through a briefing, and makes a call based on information that's already been filtered and summarized by the time it reaches them. Genshi Genbutsu is a Toyota principle that translates directly to go and see. When something's wrong on the production line, you don't pull up the data. You go stand where the problem's happening and watch it happen in real time, because a bottleneck looks completely different in person than it does in a throughput chart. Number 15, Hansei, regular self-reflection and correction. Most postmortems are autopsies. Something fails, the team writes up what went wrong, and the document sits untouched until the next failure. The review was thorough, the conclusions were reasonable, and nothing changed because the findings never fed back into the actual process. Hansei runs at every project milestone, not just when things break. The point isn't to assign blame or confirm that everything went fine. It's to find the gap between what you planned and what actually happened and understand exactly why that gap exists. Every concept in this list does the same thing from a different angle. It moves the point of intervention earlier, so the problem never gets to fully develop in the first place. The compounding starts when they work together, because a system that prevents problems doesn't need you to force it constantly.